cosa c'è io, esatto?
We're visiting his dad's family.
The plan is to draw it out of the shadows.
You're bringing it here.
It's perfectly safe.
Happy.
All right, geeks, I am here with Daniel Allen. He is the director of Bambi The Reckoning. And as you guys know from watching this channel, since before the Twisted Childhood universe had a name, I was on top of it from Pooh, Blood, and Honey all the way up to this one. I plan on being there, hopefully in Comic-Con, but I will find me a theater so that I can see this. I've seen them all, and I don't plan on missing here. Daniel, how are you doing?
Very good, man. Very good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. So welcome to the Twisted Childhood universe. Welcome to this madness.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a roller coaster so far, so it's really cool to be involved.
So we're about to send a shock to the system. We're going from the childhood of Bambi and Thumper and the most tragic thing that's happening in those movies are hunters and fires. But I think you're bringing a lot more to the table than that. Go ahead and give me the premise of Bambi: The Reckoning.
Sure thing, sure thing. So I mean this is both a retelling but also a sequel. It takes place after the events of the book Bambi, where Bambi's a bit older, and is seeking revenge not just for the loss of his mother, but also the loss of his own child and lady dear wife. But we follow a set of human characters that find themselves caught in the middle of this nature fighting back revenge monster mashup. So we follow Zana and Benji, who are off to see the in-laws, and then they find themselves attacked by Bambi, who is on a very seemingly vengeful, aggressive mission to take down the hunters that maybe also killed his own mother. So yeah, it's sort of like a non-stop roller coaster of monster gore, action, but then also it's got really nice human characters at the heart of it, which it takes incredibly seriously as well. But it knows how to have fun. The film knows what it is. It knows that we're here to see Bambi mess some people up.
Turnover vehicles. Yeah, it seems like this Bambi reminds me of Jason Voorhees than anything else because Jason is
Oh, yeah.
basically trying to avenge the death of his mother every time out. So this looks great. I grade these movies. I grade all these Jagged Edge movies that I've seen on a scale called the 3Ds: death, dismemberment, and destruction. On a scale of a scale of 1 to 10, where would you grade The Reckoning?
Cool. I'd say destruction, we go bigger. We blow up more stuff. There's more explosions. We've got more car stunts. In terms of death, you're not, because it's a deer, while some people die absolutely brutally, you don't necessarily have the same tactile deaths that you get with, say, like Pooh and Peter Pan, with terms of like specific limbs being torn and twisted off. So maybe on the gore, it's down a bit, but it's still going to be very satisfying. But yeah, up on the destruction. And what was the first D again?
Death, dismemberment, and destruction.
Okay, yeah. So death, very good. Dismemberment, I'd say maybe just behind the other two, in terms of Blood and Honey 2 and Peter Pan. But then destruction, I'd say it's the winner, is what I would say.
Oh, this sounds awful. Now, what was the? I see the effects in the trailer because I haven't seen the movie yet. I've
Mhm.
seen the effect in the trailer. How much was that was practical, and how much was CGI? Did you guys do mostly practical?
Yeah, so we wanted to do as much practical as possible. The one of the issues we ran into is we didn't have the design finalized in time. It took us a long time to find a team, a VFX team that we really believed in, that we thought was going to be able to deliver the film. And eventually we found Stephanie and Ryan Belgart, who are they were just amazing. Them and their team at Boiling Point. So because of that, we couldn't get practical elements made to match because it was still being developed. But what we did do instead, because I think when you have a cheaper, lower budget monster movie, you can really tell when people aren't interacting with the creature properly. So we really wanted to make sure that the creature was physically interacting with people. So we built like a green screen hand, like a green screen hoof rather, and a green screen head, so that people could actually interact with it. And it can actually step on people's backs, and you can see all the clothes push in. And then we also used essentially the equivalent of a sock puppet, but essentially like a blacked out hand that we could then have Bambi bite stuff, and then that would be replaced with the CGI creature. So there's loads of practical elements that combine with the awesome CGI work that Stephanie and her team did. Including Bambi's breath as well. There's quite a few nice moments where we see the breath hit their face. So that's sort of like CG breath smoke, but then it's a physical wind element, making Roxanne's hair flow back. So yeah, it's always, as always with these things, I think doing the mixture is what creates something really sort of special and magical.
Now you have three other films that I'm looking at on IDB: The Mime, Crypt TV's Monster Madness, and It Came from Below. So it looks like
Mhm.
you're you know, of my field as far as horror type of things. Are you a primary fan of horror? Is that your primary
Yeah,
genre?
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I think I love the experience that horror provides. You know, it's the most to me it's the most immersive genre. To go into a room and to be sort of terrified and scared and excited, and sort of also like fist punch the air as well at the same time for certain moments. I just think it's such like a special journey to take people on. So yeah, I love working within genre. I love watching horror films. I'm a massive scaredy cat though. Like when I go and see horror films, I often end up having to like hide behind my fingers or end up screaming out loud. But I think that's because I know what scares me, so I just do that with my own films and try and make something that I think's just as scary.
Yeah, if there's eye
So yeah,
torture, then I have to do that. There's eye
yeah,
torture, or if there's genitalia torture, I don't care how many
nice.
horror movies I've seen, I gotta turn away. I can't do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now,
You
who
mean
influences
there's
you?
no genitalia torture in Bambi. You might be
Ah, there we
pleased
go.
to
There we go.
know.
Who are your influences as far as directorial influences when it comes to this genre?
Oh man, that's a good question. I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, I pull from lots of different people. For me, the big one for this film was actually Spielberg. So what I wanted to do was make a Spielbergian horror. So I think Jurassic Park often gets forgotten as a horror film, but ultimately it is a horror film, but it's just a family horror film. So that was one of the biggest influences on this film. But we wanted to dial it up and do like R rated. Um, and but we wanted it to have that sort of same magical quality and lots of like energetic camera work. So we had lots of that in there. There's a moody somberness inspired by that I really connect with, inspired by Dark, the TV show, which is Baron Boador. And then trying to think some of the other ones that I love. I mean, in terms of tone and energy, I love It Chapter One and Chapter Two, which is oh my god, what's his face? Is Dave? No, not Dave. Oh my god, we need to. Can you Google this now? And
For
then
the director of it, Muschietti, Andy
yeah,
Muschietti.
yeah,
Okay, yeah,
we
those
should have.
that's
Yeah.
who did the yeah, and if, yeah. I don't have to. Yeah,
Yeah, I
he's one of
love
my
his
favorite.
stuff,
I love his
man.
too.
Yeah, you know what? They just got the perfect level of absolutely terrifying, but then also fun at the same time. So yeah, I think there's a lot of all of those elements in it, is what I would say.
So it fits nicely with the universe that it's in, as
Mhm.
far as the tone, as far as the violence. Do you feel that these films? Because I've been there since the beginning, since before Scott did the other one. As soon as I found out it was being made, I asked him. I stalked him. I stalked him. I'm like, dude, I got it. Pooh, Blood, and Honey. And when I heard what he was doing, I was like, dude, and this was like a year before Pooh, Blood, and Honey was done. I was saying, hey, I
Yeah.
need to be on board for this, and that's and I built that rapport. So I've watched these movies grow, and they seem to be getting better and adding a new dimension with each one. What do you
Mm.
think that Bambi adds to the journey as far as okay, we are now further along with this movie than the franchise was before?
That's a good question, man. I mean, I I don't really look at any of them as sort of further along. I know what you mean in the sense like that you can feel them sort of growing and growing. Certainly since the first Blood and Honey. I mean, I think it's sort of night and day with Blood and Honey 1 versus Blood and Honey 2, and then also obviously like Pan and Bambi. Um, because I think Blood and Honey 2 and Peter Pan and Bambi all offer something slightly different.
Hmm.
And that's what we love is we love they're all slightly different flavors of horror. Like this is the most out and out monster movie. So I think that's what this does even more than the others. But I don't know if I see that as like a it makes it sort of above those. I mean, we sort of shot them all very in a short space of time, actually, in the sense of I think Pooh 2 wraps, and then it was only 2 or 3 months later, I think, that Bambi was shot, and then Pan was shot about 3 or 4 months after that. So it was in quite a short space of time. But I think definitely because it's mostly the same team, and I edited those films as well. I think we sort of understand each other more and more. Like Vince shoots them all, Vince the DOP. So I think all of them mean we can do more and more with each with the resources we have. But yeah, I mean, although Bambi was the shortest shoot, we had like 15 days, whereas a lot of the others are sort of 20 to 30 day shoots. So we had less time. But what we can do, I think, where we're improving is sort of behind the scenes and maximizing the tiny budgets we have to make them, I think, compete with sort of like the lower millions sort of budgets that you sort of see a lot of horror films operate in. So yeah, I think we're sort of exceeding expectations more and more, I guess, with everyone, but also offering something different with each of them.
Yeah, because this is independent movie. I think that people ought to forget this is still
Mm,
independent movie making. So this is not. We do a lot of stuff with trauma. We do a lot of interaction with trauma,
mm,
and so that's one of the things that attracted me to this entire universe is because of the what they are able to do, what Lloyd Kaufman and company are able to do with a very small amount of time and a lot of time, a small amount of dollars, and getting that
yeah,
maximum effect out of all that is. It's almost, to be honest with you, it's almost as big a draw as the movie star. I mean, the fact that these movies are
yeah.
being made at this level still with everything else to compete with, the fact that there are still indie people out there making these movies at this level is still good to know. That's why I support it. Um,
Thanks, man. Yeah, and it means a lot, like for you and the rest of the fans or people that are even just curious to come to the cinema and see these films. It sends like such a big message, and it means more filmmakers will get their chance at sort of proving themselves on that bigger stage. So it really means a lot.
Now, as I've seen this thing, we started with Pooh Blood and Honey, and it was just all the outrage. Pooh Blood and Honey came out, and the outrage was still there. But as I start to get, now we're in the fourth movie. I'm feeling a little bit less of a "how could you do this to my childhood," and to the point where people are like, "Okay, they're gonna do it, so we're gonna make a decision to go see it or not." Have you felt the lessening of the tightening of the outrage of the people who have these childhood visions of these characters, and to the point where people are just gonna go have that fun that they allow themselves to have with like a movie like Terrifier or things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like Scott and Reese have taken the brunt of the all that sort of
Yes, they
backlash,
have.
as it were. Yeah, I've received a bit. You know what? I get more messages. I get more messages being like, "Do Dumbo." Like turn Dumbo into a killer. So I get a lot of suggestions, whereas I think Scott and Reese historically have gotten a lot of hate. Um, I think I've gotten a tiny bit of it. But yeah, I think it's that people have either calmed down or sort of gotten over it. But I think also Scott and Reese is still probably the face of that movement. So yeah, no, I haven't really received much of it, and I think what I've always said in a lot of the interviews I've done from the start as well is we actually this film is about the death of childhood, and that's very intentional of doing a film like this and making it thematically about yeah, loss of innocence and death of childhood, so it sort of feels purposeful.
Yeah, it's art. To me, it's art. Like I told
Mm.
Scott when we first talked, and we both agreed that if this messes up your childhood, you probably didn't have a great childhood to begin with. You're something was
Yeah,
gonna else
yeah.
going into it. So, I mean, these are just fun movies. So
Yeah.
this movie is more horror than it is
Mhm.
slasher because that's what to me
Yeah.
Pooh Blood Honey because of the manner of which people die in Pooh Blood Honey. A girl gets put into a wood chipper and the rest of them get axed and beheaded. This is more of a horror element. So out of the four, even Peter
Mm.
Pan, I mean, the syringe, all that stuff. So this is more of an actual a supernatural horror out of the four. So
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to that as well. So you got anything coming up? What are you working on right now?
Lots of little things in development. When I say little things, big things, but lots of little big things. Um, but nothing announced yet, is what I would
Okay.
say. So developing a few things inside and outside of this space. So yeah, but it'll be horror. It'll be scary.
Oh,
It'll be
cool.
very
Yeah,
scary.
you're in my hometown right now. Like I said, I'm headed out to San Diego, so I'm glad. Like I said,
Nice.
I'm glad he was able to hook us up to today because like I really wanted to support this movie. I want to support all these movies as they come out because I think it's important for people who want to see these movies to actually know that they're out because there's a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously, you look at the month of July, Superman, Fantastic Four, Jurassic Park.
Mhm.
These massive advertising budgets. There's just not indies don't have the engine sometimes to push this out.
Yeah.
So I hope my little following helps people find out that there is a Bambi the Reckoning movie coming out. It's out this week. I don't have I'll have all the release dates and stuff and all the links for you guys to go get tickets in the description by the time you see this because this is being re-recorded before I escape Vegas. But Daniel, thank you for giving me the time of day. Thank you for coming on and
No, no worries.
congratulations on Bambi the Reckoning.
Perfect. Thanks so much, man. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.